Hey guys, welcome back to Bible for the Duns. Right now we're on the road again, and we're studying Esther chapter 5, and basically Haman is a very bad guy.
Right.
Or Haman.
Haman.
Gibbers. So what I liked about this chapter is I liked Mordecai because he didn't bow before Haman, and because he knew that God is the real king.
So in this chapter, I really like the warnings against pride and greed. So C.S. Lewis, he said all of our sin goes back to the same root of pride, and that's just our own selfish desires. So along with that, we also see Haman's greed, and so we see everything, and he's just bragging to everybody about everything that he has, but he's so obsessed with the fact that Mordecai doesn't submit to him and he doesn't bow to him, and he's just so worked up by that. And I really like what that shows us. It just shows us how ridiculous that is. But the truth is, we can all be the same way, and so it just shows us not to be that way.
Hello. And then I saw, and Preacher Hubs is going to talk about this a little bit, but in this I saw Esther trusting God in her actions and what she was going to do. You know, if the king does not call you to him, you don't go before him. If you do, he can have you killed. And so that's a kind of a scary thing. And so she trusted God, knowing that she was being called and she was there for such a time as this. Remember what we talked about yesterday. And then they were talking about what they see in different characters of the story. In Haman's life, he's already a bad guy, but also his wife has terrible advice, and he goes to her and he is giving her the juicy gossip of the day and catching her up on the events, and she's all in the middle of it, and she already has a plan of what he should do, and she's feeding his sinful side. And so it's just a good reminder to me to be careful who I surround myself with, to be careful the advice I give as a friend or as a wife, and that's part of what I saw.
Okay, so what I saw in this passage is there are a couple of themes that kind of stretch all the way through the Bible. One of those themes is the idea of favor. So in the New Testament time, they'll use the word, instead of favor, they'll use the word grace. But if you remember in the story, Esther has been taken away from Mordecai because she's now living with the king's harem and waiting to see if she'll be chosen as queen. It says she found favor in the eyes of Hathach, the guy who was in charge of them. And then she found favor in the eyes of the king because she's chosen to be queen. Now she's going back in and she's finding favor again, where even though she's not called, the king is ready to receive her. That goes all the way back to you remember when you're reading through Joseph in the the Old Testament, in Genesis, where Joseph, even though he's sold by his brothers and he's thrown in jail by Potiphar, it says that he found grace in the eyes of the jailer, and he found grace in the eyes of Pharaoh. And so he's finding favor and favor and favor. Because what's happening in the Bible is, no matter how bad these situations look, and some of them look terrible, there's a thread running all the way through that no matter what it looks like in life, God is a reverser of fortunes. So he can take things that are meant for evil and make them good. Joseph said that. He said, that which you meant for evil against me, God actually intended for good. That's what's going to happen in the book of Esther. And it's that New Testament verse. Our God works all things together for good for those who are called according to his purpose and who love him are called according to his purpose. He reverses the fortunes in a way where you cannot explain what happens in this book without saying God did that. So that's what I got out of it. Hope you enjoyed the chapter, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
All right, bye.